$4 trillion. That is a lot of money. Is that the United States government debt? No, that's actually like 35 trillion. So 4 trillion may not seem as much, but two companies have passed over $4 trillion in market capitalization. Those are Apple and Microsoft. So we're going to talk about those two today, along with our football eliminations and lessons we can learn from that. This is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. Corey's going to take it away with Apple, of which my family provides, 1 trillion of that market cap because we have everything Apple. Every kid's got an Apple phone, whether you think they should or they don't, but they do. There's a bunch of those. There's iPads. I think there might be one iWatch and iPods, or not iPods, earphones or AirPods. Those things are like, you buy them, you lose them, you buy them, you lose them. They're not like the phone. I mean, you're replacing those. So, Corey, I know we're contributing. We're probably, Steve Jobs, retroactive, posthumously, and Tim Cook, they're reaching out with thank you to my family for putting Apple over the 4 trillion market cap. Take it away.
Well, wow. I mean, geez, that's a lot of Apple there. We did get some fresh AirPods in the mail last week as well. All right, we haven't gotten the iPhone 17. I will hit on that. So the base model, there's some reports that the base model iPhone 17 is very compelling and that it's selling really well. That is probably the primary catalyst for Apple kind of going on this recent run. They haven't had earnings or anything like that. And I wanted to come over here to these iPhone 17s, Mike. Mike, if it's you here, and keep in mind, you got the Pro, orange, black, white. Mm-hmm. You got the Air, which is, I don't even know what options you have version, there. Yeah. What?
Yeah, less expensive version.
Is that a blue? Is that like a light blue? And then you've got the regular 17 with some other colors. What would you go with if you were going to upgrade today?
Ooh. Well, first of all, it's not really fair. I have a 16 Pro Max, and this is the thing with colors. I have a color. I'm not sure what color mine is because I put the swag of a nice cover on there. So I'm really not that concerned about the cover or the color of the phone because I always put something military themed over top of it. So this is a Kevlar backed one, and guaranteed that this can take a bullet. No, it does not guarantee that. But so I usually pick like black or gray. I'm not like the purple or I don't know, pink guy, even though it would be covered up. And sometimes when I've traded in my phone and I take the cover off, I'm like, I don't even remember what color it was because I just never take the cover off except to trade it in. So I'm not a good example. I do like that orange color there on the left, although that seems a little bit University of Texas-ish, where, Ohio State, maybe they come out with a scarlet version, I'm definitely in.
All right. So
how about you?
So, but your eyes are drawn to that Pro over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that one.
I don't know why, and I know that there's some reports that the batteries are not good and it's really a suboptimal. I like the iPhone Air though. I really like the look of it, and apparently it's just very light and thin. And I like light phones. I don't know about you, Mike. I try not to be on my phone too much. Ooh. So, if I'm just carrying it around, it's nice if it's light and thin. Maybe I just forget I even have it.
I try not to be on my phone too much unsuccessfully. I am on my phone too much, I confess. I should be on it less.
But I figure if I get the one with the bad battery, maybe that'll help me stay off it some, right? It's dead again. All right, so Apple, $4 trillion market cap. We're going to answer that question. Is now the time to buy? Is that like the green light, or is that really more of a, hey, you know what? Now's the time to sell. Now, to tell this story, I actually need two other stocks here. Apple if you think of it as a company, is it a tech stock? Well, sure. What it really is, though, is the highest margin consumer staple company in the world. That's how investors view it. Now let's go and look at that valuation, and it is rich. So you go Apple. If we just go look at those price to earnings ratios, you can see we're in the mid 30s, right? Upper 30s this year, 34, 35 for next year. What are some of the best consumer staple companies in the world? Well, you're probably thinking Apple. I mean, sorry, Walmart. Walmart, consumer staple. It's defensive, all these things. Well, Walmart's trading just a little bit richer than Apple here. And again, Apple, I know you think, oh, it's tech, but it trades like that consumer staple. It trades like a defensive company because people, like Mike said, he's in the ecosystem. He's in the walled garden. He loves the walled garden. He's probably eating some fruit in the walled garden or whatever.
Apples.
And what?
Apples in the walled
Yeah, of
garden.
course. So Walmart trades a little rich. You might not believe it, but Walmart actually has a tiny bit better revenue growth right now. And some of that's related to them. They are kind of the only company that can really go toe to toe, if you want to call it that, with Amazon on some of the online retail stuff. And they're actually growing their ad revenue as a result of that. So Walmart's benefiting from that. Now they don't have the margins that Apple has, but they have just slightly better revenue growth right now. Now you go to the next one. What's the next one? The highest quality consumer staple companies in the world. Costco is going to be in there too. Costco actually is trading at a premium to both of those.
Wow.
Now, this is a little deceiving, Mike, and I've heard this argued. I've heard these podcasters talk about this. They don't understand, and I don't know why they don't understand. They're in the finance space. Everyone should understand. Costco owns their real estate. They hold their real estate on their balance sheet at their cost. And because of that, and a lot of it is like paid off. Because of that, their assets are kind of underreported. Their actual long-term assets, because again, they don't price any appreciation into their real estate. They just hold it at cost. So if you net out what their actual real estate value is, the market knows this. That's why it looks to be trading at this premium. If you net out their real estate assets that they hold at cost, the PE ratio is probably about a mid 30s right now. Again, you get this kind of it's a little deceiving because of the way they carry their real estate and they own their real estate. So, would I be buying Apple here today? Or would I be selling Apple here today? Mike, I'd actually say neither. I've held Apple for a long time, and I just am going to continue to hold. Hopefully, they increase that dividend kind of quickly, and I can get some cash out of it through that. But I'm not going to be going and buying it here. I'd rather be buying it in a mid 20s PE ratio. And I'm not going to be selling it here because it is one of the highest quality companies in the world. And if we go look at that market cap leaderboard, you know, it's a top 3 company at this point. I wanted to say 4 trillion here, but we didn't quite, you know,
It might have been there just a minute ago. Yes. And I'll just throw in my 2 cents on buy or sell Apple. It is in our models, which means we own it. We are overweight Apple, which is true, but we're not looking to lower that, which would be a sell. We're not looking to increase it, which would be a buy. So we're staying at an overweight level. Now, that being said, a new client comes in, they go into the model, they're definitely buying Apple. So they're definitely, Apple needs to be part of your portfolio. So, you know, so yes, I guess that, I don't know what that means exactly. We definitely should have Apple in there, and I would buy it for a new client without hesitancy. So with that, I'll take you to another company. So there is a software technology we've had since November of a few years ago called ChatGPT. And I think most people, they were the first one in. I know there's competitors out there, but ChatGPT is the one that I use a lot of, and I know probably a lot of other people do as well. And people say, I want to buy that. Well, right now it's not a public stock. It's part of OpenAI. So the question is, How can I get into OpenAI? Can I call Sam Altman and he'll give me some shares? Probably not. But here is how you are able to buy this. And this is part of the reason why Microsoft stock is up, is because if you look at this headline, they just completed their latest round of funding, solidifying Microsoft as a major shareholder. So if you want to buy ChatGPT/OpenAI, you buy Microsoft. And when I scrolled, this is the first thing I looked at. This is, what does Microsoft own? They own 27% of the company on a as converted, diluted basis. So they've put money, Microsoft has invested money into OpenAI, and therefore they get a market share when this company someday goes public. Right now, they estimate it would be valued. I see 130 billion, 135 billion. That's what they estimate that company is worth. So I'll add to it. Microsoft, would I buy or sell? Same kind of question for Apple. Absolutely should be in your portfolio. I might look to even buy a little bit of Microsoft. I love that they own 27% of OpenAI. It shows diversification. And rather than Microsoft just try to develop this themselves, they're buying into, a best of breed, non-public, private company. So that's why I'm excited by that one. How about you, Corey? Are you a ChatGPT? Do you like to use ChatGPT?
Well, full disclosure, personally, yeah, Microsoft has ended up being my top position, and it's been personally, and it's been kind of interesting, Mike, that we haven't known. We haven't been able to see the exact ownership stake really until today. So investors are reacting to that. Microsoft, because of the diversity of its business model, uh, it's really easy to buy and hold. Of course, you'd like to buy it on sale. You're not getting that. You might be like at all-time highs today, but it's a really, really easy sleep well at night type company.
Yeah. Well, you talk about buying things on sale, and that's a great idea. But if you wait for the sale that never comes, you miss out on the
Yeah.
gains,
No,
and that can
sometimes
be
you just gotta go.
the danger when in investing. You're like, oh, it's going to go on. Well, it might not. It might go up 20 more percent and then drop 5, and you're like, oh, now I get it on sale. Not really. That might be spaving again. But let me close out with, it's Elimination Tuesday. So 2 more teams have been eliminated from our Ankerstar Wealth football league. So here's the one today. It is Tank's team, who is Dave. I won't say your last name. Tank's team has been perennially on the verge of being eliminated, and it finally came true here in week 8. As far as the analysis, not a lot of great players here. Caleb Williams, quarterback for Chicago, #1 pick of the draft. He plays the Bengals next week. If you just could have made it one more week, Caleb's gonna light it up next week against my Bengals hapless defense. The rest of the team, all right. So sorry, Tank's team, you are out. Now this next one gets a little more personal because I've lost the flesh of my flesh, the bone of my bone. My son has been eliminated while my team remains. So that means bragging rights from dad. So Spencer, last name Youngman, we will disclose his team, has been eliminated by Stan. And I know it was very close because Stan was texting me last night saying, I hope something happens so this team gets eliminated. I'm not sure if he knew it was my son's, but it doesn't matter. I have a great quote from my son on this team. This is the best team I've ever had in my life, but they're eliminated now in 4th place. So goodbye, Spencer. Team is very solid. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, among others out there who will be released back into the pool. But it's just funny to me that he said this is the best team he's ever had, and it's been eliminated now, and yet my team remains. So a couple weeks ago, I
That
lost
is a
my
good team. Jeez.
It's like a couple weeks ago, I lost my wife. Yesterday, I lost my son. Now I'm the remaining Youngman left in this pool. So, I didn't really lose them. They're still around, and they can live vicariously through my team. Now, how do we tie this into a financial lesson? This is very interesting to think about. when it comes to investing, should you listen to your family and listen to their investments? You know, if I listen to my son, my portfolio is the best it's ever been. Guess what? I'm tempted to fall into the same thing. It's like that FOMO, fear of missing out. Um, and I will say, you know, some things are opinions and some things are facts. You know, you can be like, this feels like the best team it's ever had, you know, and if it was the best investing model, yes, absolutely. There'd be a reason if it's proven strategy and there's a thesis behind it. If it just happens to be lucky, let's just say he had picked a crazy stock that had shot up. I can't remember. There was one like it was like open something. It had to do with house sales, and the
Yeah,
thing
open
shot up
door.
like it shot up like 500%. And he said, "This is the best stock ever." And if you copy it, you may be buying it at the top at a really bad time. So when it comes to investing advice, always deal with a professional first and foremost. Always do your own research. Even if you have a professional, I do believe that you should do some research to understand your investing. You know, you don't want to just blindly follow anybody. Family, you know, be aware of what their qualifications are. If they are a professional, sure, let's listen to them. If they're lucky, you might not want to. So in this case, I'll just say goodbye, Spencer. You know, root for my team. In the Eastern League, it is down to Stan, me, and Courtney. The Western League has a few more teams, so I won't name them all. Although I know Jaden's in there too, so we can root for him to be
Mike,
eliminated.
sometimes too, a good portfolio can have a bad day.
This one, I don't know that he had that bad a day. Actually, Bijan Robinson let him down.
Yeah, yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. Those two running backs are outstanding if they do what they're
Absolutely.
supposed to. Yeah, if you really look at it across the board, he had like some severe underperformance, but he barely lost. So it was very close, down to like the last minutes, I think, of the Monday Night Football game. So with that, earnings season is out this week. The rest of this week, I'm sure, will be focused a lot on the news that's coming out. That's all we have for you today. Thanks, everybody.